Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. For the large scale OpenStack deployments, performance is very critical. We have discussed that OpenStack uses the different kinds of databases as the backend for storing and retrieving the data. This includes the session data and some tokens information and some similar kind of data. So basically, retrieving the information from database is usually time intensive. I mean, there is generally some delay in information is retrieved from the database servers. In order to improve the performance, especially for the data which is frequently accessed, some of the data is cached in the memory. That data can be accessed frequently at a high speed by the different services, thus allowing the higher performance or the higher throughput from the for the data accessibility. We also discussed that OpenStack uses the Memcached package for caching the frequently accessed data, and today we will discuss how the Memcached works in OpenStack and what kind of data is generally stored in the caches, and what are the different sequence of steps that are generally followed to retrieve the data from the Memcached. So let's start discussing the Memcached and its role in the OpenStack deployments. The Memcached is a memory store which stores the data in the form of key value pairs, and its basic purpose is to improve the performance while accessing the frequently used data. By storing the information in memory, the accessibility speed is increased, and thus the performance of the service is also increased. In OpenStack, basically the Memcached is used for caching the authentication tokens and the session management and the data caching. So these are the basically three different kinds of applications where the data involved is frequently accessed in OpenStack, and if we retrieve the database from the database server, then it is usually slow. So Memcached addresses this problem by storing the data required in these transactions. The Memcached is basically a key value store where it uses a hash function and the key to access the certain values or the data stored in the Memcached. As we can see in the diagram, in the Memcached working, that there are a number of values which are stored in the Memcache, and each of the Memcache has a certain index and its value. Each of this index is hashed by the certain key value. So basically, to access the data from the memory store, we need to have access to the certain key. And if we look at the overall point of view, Memcached basically improve the performance of the OpenStack services. We now consider some examples that how the basically Memcached is used for authentication tokens. I mean how the authentication tokens are generated and how they are stored in the Memcached. For this one, there is certain steps which are followed. When any user service makes a authentication request, it goes to the keystone. Keystone validates the credentials and generate the authentication token. Once this authentication token is generated, the keystone send it to the Memcached. Memcached stores this token information in its memory store, and then confirm back the keystone that the particular value has been saved in the memory. After that one, a keystone returns the authentication token to the user service or the service that has requested the authentication token. Once this authentication token is received, then user service or the user can send its request, which is basically it could be request to any of the services like the compute node or the compute service or the networking service or the storage service. When the request with the token is received at the particular service, for example the compute service validates the authentication token with Memcached, and its status is returned to that particular service. If the token is valid, which is validated from the Memcached, then the compute service proceed with the request. Otherwise the request is rejected and it is not processed. So these are the number of steps which are usually followed between the keystone and Memcached for storing the generating the authentication information and saving the authentication tokens into the memory store. We have also discussed the session management. In the session management, when a user service make a request with the credentials, a user request has certain credentials that needs to be sent to the keystone package. Then the keystone basically is a service validates those credentials and store the user session information into the Memcached or the memory of the Memcached, and it also confirms the session to the keystone, which then sends the session ID to the user or to the user service which has made the request for the session. Once the session ID is received, the user service or the user sends the request along with the session ID, which the other services like compute node or sender or any other neutron services validates the session ID with the Memcached. Now for the data caching point of view, a similar process is followed. Basically the user service or the user sends the instance information to the particular node, for example the compute service. Then the compute service checks the session information in the Memcached memory. Once the compute service or any other service receives the instance information, it checks the Memcached whether the particular instance information is available in the Memcached or not. If the information is available in the Memcached, it sends back instance information to the user service. And in case the instance information is not found, then other service which is responsible for the maintaining the information about the instances, it retrieves from that service. In case of compute service, it retrieves the instance information from the from the Nova database. And once this information is received, then the compute node sends this instance information to the Memcached for storage. Once this information is stored, the Memcached confirms that the instance information has been saved into its memory. Then it returns then the compute node basically sends back the instance information to the user service which has made the particular request. So these are basically the processes that are generally followed. If you see that in each kind of usually this the data, the cases that we have discussed basically uses the authentication information or the data which is very frequently accessed in the OpenStack, and Memcached basically stores the data which is frequently accessed for the quicker access. We have also seen that Memcached can also request the information, or the other services can also access the information from the original database server, where generally the information is saved, and then it retrieves the information on the first request from the particular database and then stores it in the Memcached. The subsequent requests generally are not made to the databases, but the information is accessed from the Memcached. So that's all about the Memcached and its usage in the OpenStack. If you have any particular questions or any comment, you can you can leave a comment or send me an email. And another thing that we have discussed the installation and configuration of the Memcached package for OpenStack in the video of identity management service. If you like to know more details about how to configure and how to use the Memcached with OpenStack, you refer to that video. Thank you very much.